Imagine a world where every human has suddenly vanished, leaving behind a silent, rapidly decaying concrete jungle everywhere. Our vast cities stand still, while millions of confused animals slowly realize their primary providers have completely disappeared forever. The ultimate question remains: which species truly possesses the instincts required to survive this sudden, total human disappearance today? Inside locked suburban homes, pampered pets wait patiently for bowls of food that will never be filled again. High-energy dogs begin pacing nervously, their survival instincts slowly emerging as hunger steadily clouds their thinking and behavior patterns. Domestic cats remain calm, watching empty streets from windows, quietly calculating their next potential move beyond the safety of home. After several days of isolation, the desperate search for water becomes the most critical mission for every trapped animal alive. Small lapdogs are first to succumb, lacking strength, instinct, or drive to escape their confined and artificial living environments. Stronger breeds eventually break through glass or doors, finally tasting fresh air in a chaotic, lawless world outside civilization. On abandoned streets, chaos begins as thousands of starving animals roam freely, searching desperately for any available food scraps. Packs of former pets start forming, yet they lack coordination, discipline, and experience required to hunt effectively in urban environments. Many dogs fall victim to accidents or fights, unable to adapt quickly enough to life without consistent human structure or guidance. Meanwhile, urban scavengers like rats and pigeons begin thriving within massive piles of decaying waste left across the empty cities. These resilient creatures lived alongside humans for centuries, making them perfectly prepared for this sudden and massive global environmental shift. Rats navigate underground sewer systems easily, locating hidden reserves of grain, waste, and discarded food resources left behind. Pigeons take to the skies in massive flocks, no longer restricted by traffic, noise, or constant human interference in cities. As weeks pass, modern power grids fail entirely, plunging the world into deep darkness as all artificial systems shut down permanently. Without climate control, specialized breeds in extreme climates begin facing harsh conditions they were never biologically prepared to endure. Tropical birds trapped in cold cities cannot survive dropping temperatures during the first true winter without artificial heating systems available. The food chain collapses rapidly as dependent species lose their only reliable sources of nutrition within the abandoned human environment. Most domestic dogs disappear, outcompeted by efficient predators that gradually move back into abandoned urban areas and territories. Feral cats prove more adaptable, using agility, stealth, and instinct to hunt rodents and smaller birds across the city landscape. However, even cats face increasing pressure as larger wild predators begin exploring the silent, expanding, overgrown outskirts of cities. Coyotes and wolves move into suburbs, reclaiming land once occupied and reshaped by human expansion and development projects. Concrete begins cracking as weeds and vines slowly spread, wrapping around structures and transforming abandoned skyscrapers into living ecosystems. The urban landscape transforms into dense vegetation, offering new survival opportunities for animals capable of climbing, hiding, and adapting quickly. Raccoons emerge as dominant survivors, using intelligence and dexterity to access hidden resources unavailable to less capable species nearby. Their varied diet and problem-solving abilities allow them to stay ahead of predators and survive in constantly changing environments. In rural areas, livestock struggle to escape fences, often failing to find sufficient food or water without human management systems. Cattle and sheep are quickly hunted by growing predator populations, proving domestication removed essential survival instincts over generations. Only the toughest pig breeds survive, rapidly reverting into aggressive, wild forms capable of defending themselves effectively against threats. These feral hogs become powerful survivors, capable of resisting predators and adapting to diverse environmental challenges across multiple terrains. In cities, rat populations peak rapidly before available food supplies are exhausted completely, triggering competition within massive colonies. Without human waste, rat colonies turn on each other, engaging in brutal survival conflicts driven by extreme hunger and scarcity. Their population declines sharply, yet surviving individuals adapt by hunting insects and smaller prey within emerging urban ecosystems. Birds of prey like hawks and falcons thrive, finding cities transformed into ideal hunting grounds filled with exposed prey. They nest on crumbling buildings, soaring above growing vegetation that now dominates what were once busy city streets. 1 year later, the world becomes unrecognizable as nature reclaims the majority of human-built environments across the planet. Competition intensifies, and only the most adaptable, flexible species manage to survive through the rapidly changing environmental conditions. In oceans, a different story unfolds as ecosystems begin recovering rapidly without human interference disrupting natural marine processes. Marine life flourishes as fishing stops entirely, allowing depleted populations of fish and other species to recover surprisingly quickly. However, species like dolphins must relearn independent survival, no longer relying on indirect support from human-related environmental conditions. On land, animals with low metabolic demands begin showing stronger long-term survival potential compared to energy-intensive species. Reptiles and amphibians thrive in warm, overgrown cities, benefiting from stable environments suited to their slower metabolic requirements. A turtle survives months without food, making it significantly more resilient than most mammals requiring frequent and consistent energy intake. Insects experience explosive population growth as pesticides disappear and environmental conditions become ideal for reproduction and expansion. Ants and termites dismantle wooden structures, gradually recycling human-built materials back into natural ecological cycles over time. 10 years later, large mammals like bears fully occupy former urban zones, adapting to new resource distributions within ruins. They explore abandoned malls, occasionally finding preserved food supplies that remain sealed and edible after years of environmental exposure. The ecosystem stabilizes, reaching a new equilibrium where predator-prey relationships balance naturally without external human interference. Comparing survivors reveals a clear pattern. Specialized species fail, while generalists successfully adapt and continue surviving in changing conditions. Dogs largely disappear, replaced by wild ancestors that retained essential instincts required for hunting and long-term survival in nature. Cats survive in smaller numbers, gradually migrating away from cities into forests and natural habitats better suited for hunting. Rats persist, though smaller and more cautious, adapting to reduced food availability and increased predation pressures in wild conditions. One group stands above others, demonstrating unmatched resilience and ability to endure nearly any environmental change or challenge. Crows display remarkable intelligence, solving problems and adapting quickly to locate food sources within constantly evolving ecosystems worldwide. Flight grants birds major advantages, enabling escape from predators and efficient access to resources across large geographic areas. Yet even crows cannot match the extreme biological resilience of the most ancient and adaptable species on Earth. These creatures have survived multiple extinction events, enduring environmental changes across millions of years of evolutionary history. Cockroaches thrive quietly, surviving in dark corners of ruins, feeding on almost anything, and enduring extreme environmental conditions. They withstand radiation levels fatal to most species, demonstrating extraordinary biological durability unmatched by nearly all complex organisms. Another contender exists underground, completely unaffected by surface conditions or environmental changes occurring above the soil layer. Earthworms continuously process soil, maintaining ecological cycles and ensuring life persists even when surface ecosystems collapse entirely. To find the ultimate survivor, we must examine species with minimal dependence on human-created systems or environments. Apex predators like sharks and crocodiles continue unchanged, surviving exactly as they have for millions of years. They never depended on humans, making them true victors in a world where humanity suddenly disappears without warning. While pets and urban species struggled, these ancient predators simply continued their natural cycles of survival and reproduction. Ultimately, the longest survivors are those that remained wild, never relying on humans during our brief existence on Earth.